It's going to apply to all those different things. So I hope you take good notes. You can ask questions. It's a long time. Dumb questions, only dumb people. I mean, now show up questions only with go to a parking lot. And this may or may not keep working if it doesn't come put the mic down, but I think it's helpful for you to be able to hear me. I'm going to say get it. And if you understand what I just said, just say got it. Get it?
Got it.
All right, good. All right, so I'm going to ask you, how many books do you think you've read in your life? Anybody, throw out a number, anybody. 300-400. Okay? What's your percentage of recall on those books? Anybody? This is the interactive. Like, I can see you guys. It's not on stage, right? 100%. 100%, this guy says. And the next session is why I'm delusional. So you're going to but we all know we read a lot of books, we go to a lot of events, maybe EO events, maybe regional events. But our recall isn't as good. Well, AI has 100% recall. So why wouldn't you use this tool? Now, how many people in here, by show of hands, have attended at least one webinar or one training on AI in the last year? Okay, certainly. And I know what a lot of them are like, because I speak at a lot of conferences, and there's usually 3 or 4 AI speakers, and chefs say, oh, you're going to learn about AI. No, you're going to learn how to get more business, get found, shorten the sales cycle, lower the cost to get leads, improve operations, and save you time. That's what it is. It's about the result. So that's what I want you to be focused on. What are you trying to do with it? So of course, how are you going to grow? There's only 4 ways to grow a business. Get more customers, but we don't want more customers or clients, depending on what your model is. We want to get more high value clients and customers. We want to increase the average transaction. Well, how do you add more value? AI can help you do that. How do you get repeat referral sales or build your centers of influence with the people that can give you business? And then how do you improve operational efficiencies? Now, I'm going to go into a lot of content. I will have time for questions, but here's what you can do. You can just raise your hand and say, whoa, can we practice that? I want to see how interactive the group is. Whoa! Whoa! You guys are like, yeah, come on, 3 o'clock, come on, I'm kidding. But I really want you to be able to interrupt and ask questions, because that's going to help, because I'm here for you. I'm not just going to go through a bunch of PowerPoint slides, because I've been to a lot of these AI programs where either the content is theory or it's bells and whistles. It's not practical application. So I'm just curious, what are some of the things that you want or are doing with AI now? This is the interactive portion. You can just raise your hand and shout something out. Why are you here? What did you hope to gain from being here? Or what are you already doing with AI? Anybody? Yes?
Generating testing code.
Generating testing code, right? Because AI is amazing at writing code. So I said it's read every book, but also understands all programming languages. So I run a digital marketing agency, and my developers use Claude to help write code and troubleshoot code. So writing code, doing math, or content, it can do all that. Yes, someone else. Why are you here? Yes, over here.
Responding to clients' tax questions.
To tech questions or just questions? Text questions. Tax. Okay, tax. Sorry, guys. So responding to clients' tax questions. Are you an attorney?
No.
Accountant? CPA?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a client of mine created a program called Parallax. He's an attorney. He wanted a way to help his clients with those initial questions, but without giving legal advice, right? Full disclaimers. And full disclaimer for anybody recording. This is for information and educational purposes only. I'm not giving you legal advice. If you agree with me, great. If you don't, no problem. I'm going to speak tomorrow at the Union Station. It's not a big deal. But I, like you, when I go to these conferences, I want to make sure I leave with something that's specific. Now, I'm going to be sweating because Chef made me jog all the way here with my bag up the hills. So fat guy sweating in front of the room, let it go. Okay, here we go. So you can absolutely train. Now, have you trained an AI agent to do that?
A little bit.
A little bit. Well, I'm going to give you 4 levels of AI, and I guarantee you, regardless of what level you came in the room with, you're going to leave more prepared to leverage this tool. Whether you're the executive or the owner or the CEO of a multi-brand unit or multi-unit owner, or whether you're on the executive team, I guarantee you're going to get some great things out of today's session. Okay, so this is what it can do. This is what you want to be careful of. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention it. AI will get you 80%, maybe 100%, sometimes 50%. Depends on what you're trying to do. So I want you to treat AI as an expert, but monitor it as if it's an intern, because it will make mistakes and hallucinate. Now it's getting better every week. Every single week it's getting better. Now here's something really interesting. You can seats up here, guys, if you want to come up, it's up to you. Yeah, I'm filming back there. That's why I just didn't want to stand in front of the camera. Yeah, you're fine over there. You're good. Okay. So AI can help you do all of those different things, but you have to make sure that you're within compliance. And we're going to go through the do's and don'ts and what you can do to leverage the tool. Okay? All right, what else? What else are you using this for? Anybody? Anybody? Why are you here? Yes?
Editing content.
Editing content, right? Whether it's short form content or long form content. I got news for you. SEO is dead. I just want you to hear it here. Within a few months, you know, when everybody can write a 900-word blog on tax questions or leadership or culture or communications or team building, all those rise with time. Everybody can do that now. So the search engines are already changing to answering questions as opposed to giving the sources. So be careful of that as you think going forward with your business. Now, what I was going to say before I had that brain fart, as far as AI and what it can do, AI is getting trained to be more human-like, which means it stutters, back skips, connects words, because humans respond better to more humans. Humans are using AI because they want to be more professional, right? I got a 9th grade education. I grew up in foster care. I've built 17 different companies, 3 were 8 figures. I've made millions of dollars. But what you make is what you keep. I had $50 million in my company, and I was only taking home about $1 million, which is still a lot of money, but not compared to the gross sales, right? It's not what you sell, it's what you keep. And I'm only sharing that with you is the lens I look through today with all of you is business. It's not technology. The next tip is do not get seduced by technology. One of the scariest things going forward is you're not going to know the difference between what's real and what's AI. And unless you're in face-to-face human connection, so whatever your business models are now, when you look at mapping out your customer journey, AI has its place. But don't be too quick to just replace AI or replace the human experience with AI, or you'll ruin the customer experience. Now, Shep Hyken, my buddy that I've known for 30 years, can tell you all about customer experience. But raise your hand if you like those automated attendants versus a real person when you call a company. Anybody? No one does, right? You call those companies. Thank you for calling. Your call is really important to us. Press 1 for English. Press 2 for Spanish. Then you press 1 for English and they don't speak English, right? And then they tell you to go, nothing against not being political. I'm just saying, it sends you down these trails of trying to get your answer, and all you're doing is, I just want to talk to a real person. Except the younger generations. Did a lot of work for Anytime Fitness and Orange Theory Fitness. And they found out that their membership doesn't want to talk to people. So there is a reason that you use technology, but again, the action step is don't forget the human experience. Now when it comes to data privacy or security, the action step for you today is set your defaults. I don't care what program you're using, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot, one that hasn't been invented yet. Whatever program or account you have, go into it and set up your defaults. Because every AI program and tool knows you want to keep your data private. You don't want to share things that you don't want to share. If that gets really annoying for you on the speaker, just let me know, and I'll move it. Is it good? Okay, so it's like too loud. My wife would say, get that thing out of here. Okay. All right. So data security, data privacy. This is going to be relevant to all roles. Whether you're in operations, whether you're in marketing sales, or whether you're in the customer experience. I get asked this all the time. Is AI going to replace humans? Yeah, I think it will in a certain sense. But it's definitely going to replace humans that aren't using AI. Evidenced by how many people showed up today. And again, I really want you to leave through pressing questions. So here's what you can do. I know most of you probably know each other from EO, from the different forums that you're in. You're probably 10 different forums in St. Louis. If you have a question, you can just say, a friend of mine wants to know. Or you can say, Shep wants to know, and then just ask him the question that I know you know the answer to. So if you have questions, you can shout them out. Get it?
Got it.
Okay, so let's move on. There's 4 levels of focus for AI. So as leaders, I'm going to give you the 4 levels, but we're also going to go into real life examples today. The first level, everybody's probably played with ChatGPT at some point. I will give you copies of slides. You absolutely can take photos as you're going to, but I will give you copies of slides when we're done too. So level number 1 is conversational AI apps, like Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, Grok, DeepSeek. There's tons of them, but they're the big brains. Okay, that's level 1. We're going to go through level 1, and then I'll go to level 2, level 3, level 4. So regardless if you're an IT programmer and you run a managed IT company and you think you know everything, you might get some eyes on you today. So here's your next action step. Later, before we're done, I'm going to keep my clock here so I can see what time it is. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you access to a Word document. I want you to go create a branded sales and marketing dictionary with these elements about your business. Now, a couple ways you can do this. Sir, what's your company? Do you mind me asking? And if I call on you, you don't want to do it, just no, I'll move on to the next question. What's your business?
The branding group.
The branding group? Oh, branding group. What does that company do? What do you do?
Real estate tax appeals, sales and use tax reviews, sales and use tax monthly.
Okay, everything I know all about, right? Okay, so, okay, I get it. Okay, so you would want to go in and you might go to Perplexity, and you might say your name is Mark? Mike, okay, I see. He might say, I'm Mike, I'm the CEO and founder of the Brand Group, and I want you to research me, research the industries I serve, research my ideal client, and come up with a profile that I can then use to train AI. Go get AI to do the work, to get the document. So if you're sitting here with a blank screen going, what's our company mission, vision, and values? Well, let AI help you do it. All right? But I want you to create this document, because this document is going to become a training document no matter what AI tool you use. So instead of having to type that in every single time or custom instructions, I'm going to give you a document with all these variables in it as a bonus for being here from EO, and you can do this. Now typically, just as a reference point, I used to charge around 30 grand for a keynote. I charge 15 grand for consulting. That's not about me. I'm just trying to put this into perspective that I value your time to spend away the lost opportunity cost that you came this afternoon to this presentation versus all the emails that are piling up while you're sitting here. So I totally get it. So I'm going to give you action steps and ideas. ChatGPT. Is there anybody who hasn't used it at least once? Okay, one guy. Okay, well my action step might be one guy that's honest enough. My suggestion would be to get it and download it on your phone. Who does not have it on their phone? Anybody in the room? Okay, a few people. Is there anybody in the room that speaks another language other than English? No one? No one's bilingual in here? Really? No one speaks another language?
Shut up.
Well, so much for that. You should.
Well, if you put my AI, it'll translate anything I say in another language that sounds just
It
like
will, but it's not as fun.
It is.
So I'm going to do the example here. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm sitting here in front of a group of EO members because I was trying to do that exercise. You know the one where I had you convert everything into Spanish for them?
Got it. Let's start. What's the first phrase you'd like to translate?
I can't because no one in the room speaks Spanish. What am I going to do? I'm standing in front of all these people.
That sounds stressful. If you have a moment, use a translation app on your phone. Or if there's someone in the audience who can help with translation.
Okay, wait a second. I want you to give them 3 reasons why they should download ChatGPT on their phone.
Sure. First, it can help translate languages quickly. Second, it's a great tool for getting instant answers to questions. And third, it can assist with brainstorming ideas on the go.
All right, I want you to go back to sleep now. Thanks a lot. So tell the EO group thank you.
You're welcome. I'll let them know. Take care.
Let them know now. They're standing in front of me.
All right, I'll let them know. Take care.
Now, when I get into my car, I turn on ChatGPT. And I have conversations with Einstein, else you want. It's read, it knows everything. So you might think, oh, sport, is that really true? Who has a significant other that every time you ask them where you want to go to eat, they say, I don't know or I don't care? Raise your hand. Okay, yeah, this guy. What's your name, sir? Mike? Okay, Mike. Okay, Mike. So, my wife, she's a Pilates instructor. She runs her own business. She's an author. But she's real zen and just real about energy and, going with the flow, no conflict. And my personality style actually says Ford believes in win-win situations, but if he can't get win-win, he's okay with win-lose. Don't know if I'm really proud of that, but that's what it said. So every time she comes home, she asks me where I want to go to eat. And I say the same thing. I don't care. Because guess what? I don't care. But she got miffed. And kept getting miffed. So I went to ChatGPT one day and I figured, I should walk my own talk. So I turned on ChatGPT and I said, I need you to help me. Here's the situation. My wife asked me where I want to go to eat. I don't care. I have decision fatigue by the time I'm done running multiple businesses and doing consulting calls and speaking and doing media. I really don't want to make a decision. Does it look like I missed a meal, anybody? It's okay. I'm not that picky. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, help me out with my wife's situation. And it said these words. Hold on there, Skippy. The next time your wife asks you where you want to go to eat, instead of saying, I don't care, pause and say, it makes no difference to me, honey, and see how that works. So I'm armed with my new information. At 7:30, she comes home, throws her keys in her purse on the kitchen table. I'm sitting on the couch watching the news, and she says, where do you want to go to eat? I paused and said, makes no difference to me, honey, anywhere you want. She said, let's go to Olive Garden. I'm like, shit, that worked? So I'm just saying that if you haven't downloaded it on your phone, if you do nothing when you leave here but download the app, I would recommend it. But I put this slide on here for a reason. Download the white logo. The ChatGPT logo is green, but in the App Store, the green one is not theirs. So download the white logo. Get it?
Got it.
All right. Download it. Practice using it on your phone. You'll thank me. It can help you. You can have a conversation. And AI has gotten smarter to where the conversation actually backskips. And I'm telling you, it does what I did. You hear I did it, and and I do connectors. AI is now doing that because psychologically it knows that humans are going to respond better. So AI is trying to be more human-like, and humans are trying to be more professional. It's just crazy. Okay. Now, there's a bunch of other AI tools. We're not going to go through every single one. Yes, question?
What if you have the green one on your phone? Should you get rid of that? I have both of them actually.
Well, you're paying for one that's not the main one, is all I'm saying. You can keep it, but the main one, the same account that you have on your computer or laptop, it's one account. So I recommend that you get the white logo one. And you can use whatever tool.
What's the green one?
The green one is just a competitor that went into the App Store and got the green one before them. So it's not the same one. And so people download it and then they call me and they're like, you told me it was $20, it's $179. I said, what color is the logo? I said, I told you, white logo. So, so that's the challenge. So there are a lot of large language models and they all have their strengths. We'll talk a little bit about them, but we're still on the all right. Multimodal. All the AI tools now can read, see, speak, and write. I was speaking in Las Vegas. I took a picture out the window. I had a keynote to like 5,000 people the next morning. I was trying to bring the relevance down. And so I did a little video and I said to the AI, I uploaded the photo from my window. And I said, what can you tell me about this picture? It said, well, based on the skyline and the sunset, you're probably in the western United States. I said, can you be more specific? You're in Nevada. I said, can you be more specific? You're on the Mandalay Bay on the 47th floor looking south of the pool. The pool doesn't look too busy today. AI can see. It can hear. You all know if I start talking about Costa Rica, guess what you're all going to see later on social media? Because your watches are listening, your phones are listening. I mean, I don't care what people say about it not listening. It is absolutely listening. Okay? So, again, these tools are multimodal. So maybe you're using a level 1 just to write prompt or to look up tax code or to send an email. But I want you you to think to audio, video, text. It does much more than just the main things. We talked about this earlier. I want you to maintain the human touch. When everybody goes high tech, your competitive advantage is to keep the human experience. It's going to become even more valuable moving forward. The greatest fear of AI isn't adopting it too soon. It's waiting too long and falling behind. This technology is changing daily. On the airport, on the airplane, the way here this morning, before Chef picked me up, Claude came out with a new version, OpenAI came up with a new version, Perplexity came up with a new version today. Now, I wrote a book on AI called The AI Mindshift. You might say, well, that was too much. You might say, well, the book's already outdated before it got printed. But it was about the shift in mindset that you have to have in your organization. So it's relevant because I knew that the topic is changing so quickly. All right, questions so far? Get it?
Got it.
Anybody's trying to have a question? This is an opportunity. You good? All right, are you getting some good ideas so far? Thumbs up. We're good? Okay, just want to make sure. Let's talk a little bit about prompting. I'm not going to give you the 17 keys to prompting. I give it to you in the bonus later, but I want you to understand. Garbage in, garbage out. If I worked for Mike, one of the mics in the front row, they would give me context. The best thing I can tell you about prompting is have a complex conversation, not a question. So you've all been conditioned. I'll give you an example. First instinct, everybody shout out loud, and I can see you if you're not participating. First instinct out loud, what color are yield signs? Red and white? Raise your hand if you said yellow. Look around the room. Stay the hell away from those people. Yield signs have been red and white since 1975. But you came in here with a, now I know you're thinking, did it really? Google it later, write it down as your next action step, check the color of yield signs. The yield signs have been red and white since 1975 in the US and Canada. But you came in here thinking one thing when it's not true. And that's the same thing that a lot of people have with AI. So instead of just going to ChatGPT or one of the large language models and say, look at, give me answers to text code or help me with this email or whatever, that's great, one level. I want you to have a conversation. Here's who I am, here's my role, here's the context of the situation, here's what I want, here's what I don't want, what did I forget? Ask me questions until you understand. Treat it like an expert, but monitor it like an intern. That's my prompting guide. Yes, I have 27 different tips of the nuances that you can use to create an agent. But for most of you in the room, have a conversation, not a question. Get it?
Got it.
All right, so I use 3 tools consistently. I use ChatGPT as my main tool. I use Perplexity for current research. If you're doing anything that you want more current data, you want to go to Perplexity. Some people are nodding their heads, right? Perplexity is going to give you the most accurate, current information. Claude is going to give you the most human-like speech or written content. And it's one of the best for coding. Now, we could argue the nuances, but I'm just wanting you to see that it's multimodal. So when I work on something, I actually go back and forth between all 3. I take the prompt into ChatGPT, I put it in Perplexity, I go back and forth, and I use them all 3 at the same time to come up with the answer. So back when we started, I said, create a branded sales and marketing dictionary. You would go get that Word document. You could upload that Word document into Perplexity. I heard this speaker told me to fill this out. Go research my company and help me fill this out. Get the content, go to Claude. I did the research on Perplexity. What did I miss? Claude's going to give you a bunch of stuff. Take it back into ChatGPT and say, this is too much information. Organize this data with section headings and make it concise so that I can use it to train AI. So did you follow what I did? I went to one tool, then I went to the next tool, then I went to the next tool. Questions, anybody? Yes, sir.
Are you copying all the content from one?
Yes, the question is, am I copying the content from one and putting it into the other? That's exactly what I'm doing. And I'll tell the context, so I will actually go from Perplexity into Claude and say, I just did this search on Perplexity. This is what it came up with. What did I miss? And it'll do it again. It's like having 3 employees that have different skill sets, and you're using the collective brain trust of all 3. Question here and there, yes.
how do you recommend, I feel like I'm starting brand new product, let's see, how do you recommend bringing some of that data over to doing better content?
Have you done custom GPTs?
Oh,
Okay, so when we get to level 3 today, which, again, we're going to go to about 4:15. Is that good for everybody? Because just when we start, it's about 45 minutes. I will give you a bonus 60-minute video that you can go to at your own pace, and you can pause. Some of you think, this guy talks fast. No, listen faster, okay? But I'll show you how to do that is what you want. A lot of people think they're doing it right. They just don't know what they don't know. I do this exercise. I'll do it tomorrow. There'll be a bunch of people at the Union Station for keynote keepers. I'll have them all stand up and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your level of experience with AI? Sit down and I surpass the level. So 1, 2, 3, I usually lose a few people. 4 or 5, I lose half the group. So there's always those diehards that stand up all the way to 10. And then I say, look around, because these people don't know what they don't know. If you think you're an expert on this, run, because people don't know what they don't know. There's no one who's an expert on all this. I told you when we started, I look at this through the eyes of a business owner. If it's not going to help me increase the average transaction, build my list, shorten the sales cycle, lower the cost to acquire a new customer, increase lifetime value, improve operations, or help me analyze data, I don't care. So, great questions, but even if you run multiple companies, you're going to want to set up a custom GPT for each one because it doesn't lose focus. The problem with training AI is if you leave it in the same thread, it starts to deteriorate. Is that the speaker doing that?
It is. When you move around, maybe.
Okay, I'll try not to do
Stay
that.
still. Don't.
Okay, that's fine. You're my wife, don't you? Okay, all right. So I'm going to plant my feet here, plan to deliver. Okay, so the key is you're going to want to create a custom GPT for each one because it's going to give you more consistent answers. But I'll show you how we'll get there. All right, so multi-platform prompting, that's the takeaway. Don't just use one tool. Now, all these have free versions. Spend the $20 or spend the $25 for the enterprise version. It's faster, you get more power. But again, walk before you run. If you're not ready, then don't. But I just want you to understand how these tools are evolving. Everybody in here could benefit from answering Google reviews. Most of you have Google reviews. Some of you, depends on your business model, you may not have Google reviews. If you're a financial advisor and you thought because of compliance you can't, although you still can with that too. So I go to a lot of Google reviews and I read the reviews. And they'll say the same thing. Thank you for the 1-star review. Thank you for the review. We'll share with our team. 5-star review. Thank you for the review. We'll share it with your team. Or they haven't answered any Google reviews in 2 years because they're busy. So how important to a regular business on a scale of 1 to 10 do you think Google reviews are? Anybody? What would you say? Anybody? 8s? 8s at least, right? Do people read the negative reviews, yes or no? There can be 1,000 5-star reviews. Who's going to read the negative review? Everyone. Do you know one of my tactics when I run my agency is to leave a 1-star review but make it positive? And then in the review, no, I'm not kidding. And then in the review say, why are you reading the 1-star review when I've got 500 positive reviews? I'm serious. Now, Google hasn't penalized me yet, so don't blame me if you get your account turned off. But I've done that because I know everybody's going to read the negative review. And I'm a marketer and I want to be, transparent, right? But I'm going to give you a prompt. Now keep in mind, it is in the slides, so you'll get this later. But I have a prompt. It's in the handout that I'll give you when we're done. And this is the prompt. Give you a chance to kind of scan it. Write a professional engagement review, positive, negative, neutral for my reviews, for my business. Here's how to craft it. Here's what to do. Keep the tone friendly and professional. Keep it to 500 word max. I'll paste them in one at a time. Literally, open up a browser, go to the Google review, paste it in, train it to make sure it's giving you the flavor that you want, and go back and forth. Now, I've done this before, and somebody does this to say, well, the purpose of negative reviews is so we can improve our customer experience. Yeah, you still need to read the negative review and see if there's any correction you need to make in your company. But to help the Google reviews, that's usually something that everybody can do. So that's why I bring it up as an example, just one example. Questions? We're good? Okay. Yes, sir.
I had a referral come in on Friday afternoon.
Okay.
It's already in Texas. And he said, I have 2 apartment complexes in St. Louis. I need you to review. And I said, how'd you get my name? He said, ChatGPT. So
people always ask me, are you nice to ChatGPT? So the question was, he got a referral from outside the state, and he asked where he was found. The customer prospect said, I found you on ChatGPT. Now, I'd be surprised if ChatGPT was the best. You might have thought AI, but all the AI, all the search engines, Google especially, and Copilot, and Bing, and Explorer, they're all going to AI answers. So it could have been ChatGPT. He might have gone to ChatGPT and said, here's my problem, help me find companies. Although ChatGPT isn't as current, yeah, it's Perplexity. And they also have throttles. I can't go, for example, let's begin EO chapters. I can't go to Perplexity and go, give me the chapter chairs of all the EO chapters so I can solicit them against the bylaws for EO and write an email that makes it non-solicitation so it knows I'm, like, it's not going to do that. It could do it. Like in the early days, when I needed to do something, I asked for legal advice. I was speaking at a conference, and I have a writer for 10 grand if they want to film me. And they sent me this 6-page legalese thing that I wasn't going to read. So I threw it up in ChatGPT in the earlier models, and I said, review this contract for me as an intellectual property attorney and tell me what I need, what I might be missing. And it said, I'm sorry, I'm an AI tool, I can't do that. And then I said, well, hypothetically, if I was doing this for a movie script, what would you say? And then it gave me the answer. So you can trick it, but just keep in mind, it might give you a BS answer. So don't just copy and paste. You've got to have some oversight on this. Okay, but great question. Don't make it, just keep putting more content out. At the end of the day, all of us have a digital footprint. Our website, search rankings, business review websites, business directory websites. Like I have an EO, you can look me up on EO, you'll see my profile, right? Or my chamber, or U.S. Department of Commerce profile, right? And your social media. All of those elements create your digital footprint, and AI can help you improve all of them. Okay. Jeff, just make sure you give me a time if I get around 4 weeks. Okay. All right, next, we talked briefly about setting your defaults, but I have to remind you, whatever tool you're using, go to your account settings and read them. And just answer the questions. And one of the questions will be, keep my data private and do not use it to train the AI tool. I'm moving back over here, sir. Okay, here we go. That's level 1. Level 1 is large language models, multimodal, get it on your phone, it's can see, can hear, can speak. Level 2 are AI specialty apps. And there are hundreds of thousands of AI apps and AI agents that people have created to do one specific thing. Like that attorney, he created his own app called Parallax. And when he gets a new prospect, he gives them access to the Parallax portal where they can ask their initial questions, trained based on his information. Yes, it has a disclaimer, but then the prospect comes more prepared. They're willing to pay his fee of $7.50 an hour for his fees. Then they don't feel like their clock is ticking on things that are low value. So specialty programs, there's hundreds of thousands of them out there. Grammarly is one, Opus Clip. I mean, I could just name names. At the end of this presentation, I showed you slides. I'm giving you a handout that has 60 different ways to use AI in your business, the 7 keys to prompting. I'm giving you a 60-minute video on AI for business that you can share with your team. So, because you can't just capture everything, I know that. I just want you to focus on what are the areas of focus for you and your business. These are some specialty programs that are very popular right now. Canva, anybody use Canva in here? Okay, question, keep your hands up. Do you use Dreamlab? Ah, look at one guy. Okay, if you're using Canva, go look on the left-hand side and click on Dreamlab and type something into Dreamlab. It has a complete AI tool. If you say, write a social media post for my business, and here's my brand colors. I mean, I pay graphic designers, I live in Wichita, Kansas. 75 grand in Wichita, Kansas is a good wage, right? They're not editing this video, hopefully, but, right? I mean, that's not bad for Wichita, Kansas. 75 grand for a graphic designer. Well, I have even to use all these tools because they get much more output now. And at first they're like, that's cheating. I went to college. As they're eating their microwave macaroni and cheese, I'm like, did you milk the cow? Did you make the wheat? Did you get the cheese? I mean, you used the microwave. I mean, it's just a tool. So when you leave here today, I want your mindset to shift. These are just tools. Don't get seduced by technology. Okay? All right, Canva, Dreamlab. HeyGen. HeyGen is for video. I can do videos with HeyGen. We have time, I'm going to show some. Those are the avatar videos that you've seen that are AI driven, and you can't tell it's AI. They have apps now that I can put a link to your website and it'll go create social media with an influencer talking about your company. It's nuts. So your action step is, if you think it, you can do it. 11 Labs is for voices. I'm going to go through some of these slides as we go, but I want to give you the basics here. I can take audio from your YouTube channel, hypothetically, because it's against the terms of policy, but I can do that, and I can upload it to 11 Labs, and I can create a video in your voice that you will not know is not you. I can write a script in ChatGPT, put it in HeyGen, or excuse me, 11 Labs, and it can make the audio, and you don't know it's you. You'll listen to it and you'll wonder if you recorded it. It is that good right now. So HeyGen for video, 11 Labs for audio, Notebook LM. Anybody play with Notebook LM in here? Is that cool? What have you used it for? Anybody? What do you use it for, Jeff?
I put one of my books, I uploaded it into the system. It's a Google product and it's free. And basically 2 avatars, basically
AI agents
who sound exactly like humans. A man and a woman talking, they stutter, they go, oh, they ask questions. And they basically had a podcast and talked all about the book and what they learned. It blew me away.
So I'm going to ask somebody over here, who has a habit that you like that's not work? Anybody? What's a habit? Anybody? Anybody do anything other than work in this room? Come on, seriously? Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. Give Mike a round of applause. Give me your name. I'll give you a book. I have to take this to my Etsy model. I will send you one. Okay. So what's one of your habits?
I run.
You run. Okay. So he could go get some blogs on running or maybe ultramarathons or how to eat right for running or how to nutrition. And he could upload that data into Notebook LM and say, create me a podcast on this information. So instead of him having to read a book, he can upload a link to the book or a book, and it'll be a podcast episode of 2 people talking about the book that's much more interesting and engaging to read and more memorable. It's unbelievable. I'm just telling you here, if nothing else, take 10 minutes and go to Notebook LM. It's a Google product, and answer 2 questions and let it create the episode. You'll just be blown away by it. Questions on that? All right, so it's made to use to either repurpose content or for you to consume and learn content. Next, replay.sale. I would be asking you a silly question if I said who has to sell in this room, but whether you're B2B or B2C, we all have to have some type of sales and customer experience, right? AI is a great role play tool. Replay.sale is an agent that you can describe your business and what your top objections are, and then when you have new hires, or maybe those salespeople that are a little stale, and if you ever have any salespeople complaining that your prices are too high, they need training. There's no such thing as price problems. It's value. If you're communicating the values, they'll pay the price. Now I know you can argue with me on that, but in general, the best salespeople understand how to authentically answer questions and probe for the economic and emotional pain. AI can now do that. So whatever business you have, you can create an AI agent to train it. Now you can do this without this replay. Replay is used to record the medium and they made it easier. You can go to ChatGPT. So I'm going to ask you, Mike, what type of business do you have, sir? Landscaping company. Okay. Commercial, residential? Residential. Okay, so residential landscaping. What's an average cost of a job for someone to landscape?
I don't know, Jordan knows better.
Okay.
Not cheap.
So, okay. No, I'm just looking at just
$50,000.
$50,000. Okay, so 50 grand. Okay, 25 grand, 10 grand, doesn't matter. Well, let's say he's not getting a very good conversion. Let's say he's giving a proposal, but for whatever reason, sorry, I'm moving again. I'm going back over here. Let's say for whatever reason you're not getting the conversions. You could use AI to review the recordings of your conversations, of the ones, or to help AI resurrect dead leads, people that didn't buy from you. You can use AI to help create an email campaign to reach out. I had a client call me, he had a painting company out of Lawrence, Kansas, and he painted like construction, and he called me, he said, you know, Ford, I went on a retainer, he said, but the weather has just killed me. The snow and the weather for 3 weeks, I've got cash flow issues, I got $500,000 out of receivables, I need to generate some business. I said, what's your list? He said, well, I've got, 2,000 people over the last 2 years I've collected names on. I said, do a special promotion to them and say, we wrote a really creative promotion about the weather is your advantage, and if you want interior work done in your house, here's a discount. He made over $100,000 in 3 days of resurrecting it, but he used AI to write the campaign and used AI to outreach. This is a guy who's a painting company. He doesn't want to sit in front of a computer, right? So AI for role play, customer experience, and sales, it's a great thing. Claude. I carry 2 different Claude devices. I'm going to show you what these are here in just a second. But these are recording devices that record and automatically summarize the recording. It's kind of like Otter for Zoom. You guys have seen on Zoom. Zoom has its own recording. But if you're not using AI to record, transcribe, and then generate reports, pardon me. So if I have a pre-event call with a client and I say, well, tell me your top challenges facing your organization, they tell me the same thing. Finding, attracting, and retaining good employees, cash flow issues, marketing, whatever it is. I go into AI, I go to Perplexity and say, I'm going to have a meeting with XYZ company, research them for my pre-event call, give me the probing questions that I should ask to let them know that I understand their emotional and economic pain and the top challenges facing their industry. So before I go on a sales call, I know everything. And when they get on the phone and they say, you know anything about my company? I can say, yes, you've got X number of locations. I know right now supply chain issues are an issue, and I know you're struggling with the cost to acquire a lead because there's increased competition. They're like, you're hired. They haven't asked me anything about me. Because the more closely that you can communicate, that you understand the pain points of your prospects, the more in alignment they are to really do business. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people that understand them. All right. So, and then Seamless. Anybody in here use Seamless? Okay, a couple people. So I do. Seamless is an AI tool. So if I get your name, let's say I mentioned it in the hall, and you say, yeah, and if I captured it, I go to Seamless and I'll get everything about her business, her cell phone number, her emails, last emails that she's used, what her personality style is like, what's the best way to reach out to her. It does research. It's unbelievable. Now, I just went through 7 very quickly out of thousands. But your outcome, I'm just turning my clock back on so I can see it. You're in good shape. Yep, I'm good. I got it. It just went when I did the exercise with AI, I turned off. Okay, questions. We're going to go around. Yes?
We just purchased, for Seamless, they have intent buying information.
Right.
So you could, for like $1,500 a user, pick 12 key search words that they will scan, and anybody searching for that sales tax audit will pop up on the list through Seamless, and it will find you with their contact.
So to repeat it, I'm not moving, by the way, but to repeat it for the group, the AI tools can look at the prospects or look for like-minded prospects that are posting around the same issues and help you prospect by finding people that are, so let's say I'm looking for landscape ideas on Pinterest, and I'm looking for landscape ideas on Facebook. You could go search, and it'll say, Ford is looking for landscaping. And then it helps you target ads directly to me, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know this guy, how did he find me? Again, AI tools are super powerful. Yes, sir?
Are you saying that's seamless, or is that just in general?
There's both. That's Seamless that does that. There are other tools. Again, I have 60 minutes with you guys, right? I don't want to overwhelm you with everything. I want to make sure you're clear. So level 1 was large language models. Level 2 was specialty catalogs. Now I'm going to go through these slides. You're going to get copies, but I just want you to know what's in the deck. So I talk about Canva and I talk about DreamLab. DreamLab is where the arrows are on the screen. See where it says DreamLab? Get it? Okay. Hey Jen, this is the one that makes video. Text to video. Hey Jen. It's amazing. Next, 11 Labs. Text to voice. So you've got text to video with voice, or you've got text to voice. And any other language. And back and forth. So maybe you have employees on your team that you're trying to create some training for. AI tools can take all your training and make it multimodal. It can do all of that for you. Again, if you think it can do it. There is a way. Notebook LM. You upload your sources. You chat with it, and it creates the audio. It's that simple. All these tools, if you can fog a mirror, you can do this. Oh, that's in hand. If you have a pulse, you can do this. You don't need, they've made it intuitive. Now, some things are a little more complicated in general. I know that a lot of you as CEOs and leaders of your firm aren't going to do this, but I want you to know where to go to be able to do it. Replay.sale. Again, in the slides, I gave the link to where you can go take a demo. I have a demo for customer experience for sales, and I have a demo for customer service, and I have one for sales. These are the two that I have. You have one for insurance, because I speak to a lot of financial services companies. This is the Plod device. There's other devices out there. This is the one I use because it records phone calls and room conversations. So if I was sitting in this room right now, I would have Plod running. I know the attorneys in the room that say, you know, is this a one-party state or a two-party state? Do you have permission to record? Everybody's recording right now. I don't put it on Facebook and you weaponize it. I do it because I'm 63 years old and I forget crap. So I want to make sure I know it. It's not because I'm going to use it now. Again, remember, this is for educational, informational purposes only. If you feel against that, don't record. Okay? But I do when I talk to a client or a prospect say, do you mind if I record so I can focus on our conversation? I just get it out of the way, and I have them say yes. But the recorder's going at the time. This is my newest tool. It's called Plod Pin. It has a watch band. I wear it on my wrist. And when I'm networking, I leave it on. And if I meet Mike, I'll say, hey, Mike, I'm kind of recording. Tell me a little bit about your business. And I have my hand right here. What's your biggest challenge in your business? Man, how long have you been in business? How many kids you got? Now I got a whole profile. When I get done, hey, Mike, great meeting you at the O thing in St. Louis. I hope your son does better because of the baseball tournament. And I've got data for my CRM. Now, you don't have to agree with me. I'm showing you tools. You can say, I'm not going to use that. Get it? All right, moving on. Seamless. If you're in business development, check it out. It's kind of like Zoom Info, but on steroids. I just like Seamless better. You guys, some people are not even. It's my secret weapon. I only use like 5% of what it can do. I just look at people I need to get. If I'm going to the CEO, I want to get the CMO, the CEO, the CIO. I want to just fun with people. I use Seamless to do it, and it's crazy, crazy good. All right, level 3, AI agents. AI agents are people who program the AI tools to do one specific thing. So now I'm going to go to the gentleman in the second row here. He had multiple businesses. Here's the key point. Everybody take a deep breath. All right. If you breathe in the mic again, it'll stand over here. We have about 20 minutes left. I want you just to pause for a moment. This is where everything is going. Level 1, it's just a tool. Level 2 is tools that have been customized. Level 3 is customized tools for your business. You can do this today. If you have ChatGPT, you can do this today. So I'm going to give you an example. I have a book, AI Mindshift, it's sitting right in front of you, right? I uploaded that book to a custom agent and called it my AI Publicity Agent. I uploaded my book, some videos, some PDFs, my one sheets, a bunch of details. And now, whenever I want to do anything about my book, I go to that agent and it's customized just for me. So remember when we started, some of you may have came in late, I'm going to give you a copy of the slides. I want you to create that Word document. I'm going to go show you in just a minute live what this is and how to do it, everybody in here, when you leave, should get AI on your phone, set your defaults up, and set up a custom GPT. You all can do this. Like it's most people think they're using ChatGPT, but they're not using GPTs. So I'm going to show you, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to actually show you how to do it. You can create multiple agents: finance, accounting, intellectual property, marketing, prospecting, whatever. So here's a copy of one of my books. You'll see I created 2 GPTs. I talk a lot about local marketing. I speak to a lot of franchise brands and franchise organizations. Local marketing boosting sales. So I created an AI agent based on my book that audiences can go to learn how to network and build centers of influence for non-networking people, and how they can increase their sales for people who don't like to sell. And here's how you do it. Again, I'm showing you because you're going to have the slides later. You can literally just walk through this. You open up ChatGPT and you go to Explore GPTs. In the upper right-hand corner, it says Create. Now I'm going to put the mic down. I'm going to talk plenty loud for you, but please keep in mind my voice is my inventory, so that's why I use the mic. And I don't want to burn my voice out because this is how I make a living.
But you can all kind of hear me right now, right? Okay, so I want you to have a little thing about it right now. All right, so we're just going to go over here. Hopefully it's going to be mirrored. If not, it's not going to work as good. It'll be really hard for me to do this. Okay, it's working. Okay, great. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Explore GPTs, and we're going to click Create. That's pretty easy, right? Yes?
Yeah.
So I come in here, I go to Create, and I tell it what I want. I want an agent to help me, whatever you want to do in your business. Now, what you should do is you should go to Perplexity and say, I'm trying to create a custom GPT in ChatGPT, research my business, research my ideal client, research my industry, here are my top competitors, and help me create a custom GPT to get a competitive advantage. Then Perplexity's going to put it all together for you. If we had time, if we had 2 hours, I could bring that live, right? I'm just going to copy that and paste it right here, and you're done. That's how easy it is to create. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to open up one of my other ones so you can see this live. So let's go into, this is the one about my speaking business. PRR is Profit Rich Results. It's my business, my speaking business, right? So I'm going to click Edit. And these are my instructions. I know you won't be able to read it. The font's kind of small on the screen. But look at all the documents I've uploaded. See all those documents? All those documents are uploaded about my business. So that's when I want you to create that master document, unless you already have one. So you can create a GPT and train it with the documents. Those documents are my marketing materials, my flyers, my brochures, my one-sheets for my speaking programs, my consulting contract is everything that I would give to an employee to train them on my business so that they can help me in my business. Make sense? I'm going to back up. And I'm going to go to, let's go to the sales and marketing one.
Is that all text that you're uploading, or?
It's PDF documents or Word documents or pictures, graphics, and PowerPoint, it'll upload it. So I have what's called a sales and marketing agent. Every time I present at a group, people come up to me and say, hey, that was great, but can you train my team? I do. I typically charge 10 grand. For the old members, I charge 5. I'm not pitching you from the front of the room. I'm just answering the question that everybody always asks me. Do I do one-on-one custom confidential trainings? I do. And in it, I set up all your GPTs for you, and I train your staff on acceptable use policies so they don't create brand damage for you, because they're all using these tools with no guidelines, most likely. And you have to put some bumpers on that alley or you're going to have trouble. So the sales and positioning one, I come in here and I give them your name and your company and your ideal client, and it'll write the sales narrative for me. Because the agent is trained to go out and research and do all that work for you. So you want to think about what would be the agents that you would create in your business. That's the real outcome. Get it? Now, for some of you that are like, okay, that was a lot to take in. Just back it up.
Go to Explore GPTs, read the screen, and hit save. It's not, don't overcomplicate it. Once you do it once, you're gonna be like, wow. And that's gonna make ChatGPT be like it's on steroids. Does that make sense? Yes, question in the back.
What concerns do you have about putting all of your, what was private information into the engine?
So to repeat the question for the audience, what concerns do I have about privacy? I set all my defaults to not use my data to train the AI. That's why I said that multiple times. So train it, and it won't use your data to train the AI. And the reason I say that is AI tools know you're not going to use them if your data is not secure. So they offer enterprise versions, they offer security to do it. There's plenty of people that they can train without it. So, but by default, they do use your data. So by default, they're not going to tell you this. So you have to go into whatever tool you're using to do it. Now, on ChatGPT, they have what's called custom GPTs. Who in here is using Perplexity? Raise your hand. Okay, for the 7 people in here, go to Perplexity and create what's called Spaces. It's exactly the same. Go to Perplexity, explore Spaces, and I mean, they just didn't name it the same thing. They should have called it agents. All these are the same thing. So ChatGPT has GPTs, Perplexity has Spaces. It's the same thing though, it's just an agent. Who's using Claude in here? Anybody using Claude? Okay. Raise your hand if you have projects created. Okay, we got a few people in the room. Projects are the exact same thing as Spaces and GPTs. It's just they call it something different. Yes, in the back.
Which one has the most storage for your show?
His question is, when you're uploading content, which one allows you to put the most training documents? Claude. As of today, Claude lets you put more data to train its agent. Okay? So, yes, go here.
Once you created these, where were they accessible?
They're accessible from the left-hand side of the column.
But only within our login.
When you create a GPT, a space, or a project, it's private, unlisted, with anybody with a link, or public. So you could, if you were the gentleman who was doing the tax code, you could create an agent and make it public, and then anybody could use that agent that's branded for you. Or you could make it unlisted, where just everybody on your company who has a link. Or you could make it private, which means only you can get to it. But the goal here on level 3 is what I want you to walk out of here. If you walk out of here, I just want you to, there's this thing called agents. Did you know you can do this now? There's no extra fee for this. It's just most people, they think they're using it, but they're really not. Get it? Okay. We good? Okay, so your action, I got time. I got your clock up here. So the action step is to download on your phone, set your defaults up, create your branded training document, and then I don't care what tool you're using, they all allow you to upload documents now because they know that's faster than you copying and pasting every single time you want a prompt. All right. Level 4. Have we covered a lot of content in a short period of time? Raise your hand if you found this valuable. Come on, everybody, the camera's in the back. Okay, thank you. All right. They had the audio up. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go to level 4. We have 11 minutes left. I like to start on time and end on time. I will stay here and answer questions for you. I will give you a way to get the slides here in just a couple minutes. Robotic process automation is a fancy way of saying workflows. Agents and workflows is where AI is going. Right now it's a party trick. You go to ChatGPT and ask it to review something or write something. Like that's level 1. Level 4 is where you take a look at your technology stack and you go to one of these AI tools and you say, here's all my technology. What can I do with this? So maybe you have a CRM system. Salesforce, I use Zoho. Maybe you use Maz90 or Peachtree or QuickBooks. Maybe you use WordPress and Gravity Forms. Maybe you have a marketing automation program, Go High Level, or email, Constant Contact, Aweber, MailChimp. You just tell it, I have all these things, what can I do? And it's going to tell you, well, based on that, have you tried this? Or you can go to the AI tool and say, I have this in my workflow, how do I automate it? Your mind shift is using AI to solve the AI problem. Don't overcomplicate it. I start all my inquiries on Perplexity. Unless I know what I want to do, then I might go to Claude or ChatGPT. So use the tools to help you do this. Get it? All right, Chef, did you get some photos earlier? You did? Did you get some photos earlier?
I did.
Okay, good. That's all I care about. All right. So, operational cost reductions. Zapier, most of you probably heard at some point or another. It interfaces like with 5,000 different programs. Make.com is newer to the game, but the interface is better. These are tools that I want you to explore or have someone on your team who's supposed to be the expert in this stuff. You go back and you say, hey, are we using Zapier? Are you using Make.com? And if they say, what's that? Give them an action step. Go watch Fort's video because they need to be watching it. So I have a webinar I do every month. I get about 1,000 people registered, about 500 people show up. It's a lead magnet, right? I'm doing training, they come and we get involved. When they come to my website and they sign up, they fill out a website form. It's on Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms sends the data to Zoom and registers them, customizes an email, takes and sends it to the client, uploads them to Zoho, my CRM, and tags them and puts them on an email sequence, takes their first name, goes over to 11 Labs and creates an audio file welcoming them to the webinar, goes to PageGen and creates a video, creates a custom landing page, and sends an email about 48 hours afterwards. You get a video from me saying, hey, Mike, thanks so much for signing up for the webinar. Hey, and the only thing that's different is the word Mike. The video is exactly the same, but the AI is just the first name. And no one, you can't tell because it's just, hey, Mike, hey, Steve, hey, Steve. This is a 10-minute video. So they sign up, and AI does the whole thing. I don't touch it. It even sends out the custom email responding with a video from me saying, hey, Mike, I hope you join. Please come with an open mind and be a critical thinker and coachable. And remember, come with your questions. And make sure you get your team signed up through. Thanks. And he's like, holy crap, did you take the time to do videos for everybody, all 1,000 people who signed up? No. AI did it. Okay? Now, whenever I spoke in Quebec, not whenever, but I spoke in Quebec, and they wanted me to do the presentation with French subtitles. And I said, I'll one up that. How about I do the video, I do the presentation in French? And they said, well, you said you didn't speak French. I took the videos into HeyGen, said convert these to French. It's me speaking French and my mouth matches and you cannot tell. But when I start the presentation in French, I said, welcome everybody, please note I don't speak French and I don't understand the dialect. I'm using AI to do this, and I just thought you would enjoy this a lot more than reading my whole presentation. Let's continue. Did the whole thing in French. And I was the hit of the conference. Everybody could have done that. They're just not using these tools. Remember, this is about shifting your mindset, not getting seduced into how-tos. Okay? So, you've got to check out Zapier and Make.com. That's level 4. That's the work that when someone engages me, we spend time on the custom GPTs and level 4 and the workflows because I want, if they're going to invest time with me, I want them to get a 10x return or 20x return on doing that. Now, obviously, we're all in EO. If you have any questions, I'm findable in EO or on LinkedIn or come by and see me. But that's as far as I take that during the presentation. All right. So to unlock AI's potential, I want you to shift your mindset from fear to excitement if you've been sitting on the fence. Now with the 5 minutes we have left, I'm going to give you the insights on how to incorporate it into your company, but you're going to get the slides. And I want you to take a couple minutes and get the QR code to get the slides. So here's number 1. Foster a culture of AI literacy in your company. Make it known, but you also have to put some guardrails on it. Whatever tools you're using, make them accessible. Send an email out to your team and tell them you can only use these tools please don't download or use any other tool without approval, because they're using these tools now. I got news for you, they're using them. Find out who the AI champions are in your organization. There's probably 1 or 2 people that really have learned a lot. Create an internal committee and help them spearhead the integration. Number 4, do hackathons. Do a lunch and learn, do a meeting where you say, okay guys, everybody's, on Monday, here's your instructions. On Friday, I want you to come with your ideas on how we can use AI to improve the customer experience, to improve lifetime value of the client, or to save money on inventory management, or whatever it is for you, right? I know there's a lot of different businesses in the room, but create a hackathon. You're all using Slack or Teams, I would probably guess, right? Or some tool. Set up a channel just for AI wins to have the conversation around AI. Okay? And number 6, create acceptable use policies on what's acceptable. Because your employees are using this, and I have seen some danger. You've seen in the Wall Street Journal that one of the attorneys used AI to help create the cases to go in the case, and AI made up the cases, and then he got in front of the judge and had a lot of problems. And, there's been a lot of fails where people use AI and they just don't read anything. AI will hallucinate. If it says, how do I make my cake more sticky? It's going to say, put glue in it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't know. It's a toaster on autocomplete. But it simulates human behavior that tricks us into thinking that it's a sentient being. And there is actually, if you get into generative AI, and I do think it actually has a point, but that's a whole other conversation. Now, here's where you get the handout. I'm going to show you what you get, 60 ways to use AI, the prompting guide, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I want you to take out your phones. If you want copies of my slides, and you want the bonus video, it's going to take you about 2 minutes to fill out the survey, and then we'll wrap up. We're at 4:12, we'll be right on time, about 4:15. And then we have to have an announcement from the sponsor, right? Okay, you'll do that. We'll just give them time to do this. Yes, question. I'll ask questions while you're doing this, yes.
Sometimes I'm searching for images or hoping. Claude obviously doesn't give good images. Perplexity doesn't. Is there any that you like that help?
So the question is, the images that AI is creating right now are kind of weird, right? They 6 fingers and doesn't write. Go to flux1.com. But the AI tools are getting better. Elon Musk, Twitter has a new one called Grok. The AI tools, within 6 months, the images are like Dreamlab on Canva. They're pretty good now. I'm just telling you, words and images were bad, and now, they're solving that problem. Within a few months, it's not going to be a problem, but you do have to do your due diligence, because sometimes it's like, look, this all looks fake. It's just like if you do a social media post and use the 600 emojis, and you're like, okay, you didn't write that. So I would go to Flux1, the number 1. Just Google that, and then practice that. Yes, question or comment?
Comment on that. Something that I found works really well is using ChatGPT to generate AI prompts for the.
Yeah, so what he's saying is, let's say you're using Midjourney, you can go to ChatGPT and say, I want you to create a prompt for Midjourney that has the proper context to give me the best result. And that's an example of multimodal, where you're using one AI tool to write the instructions for another. So if you're using Midjourney, for example, then you can go to ChatGPT and write that. Great feedback. Yes, question over here, and I'll wrap up. Yes.
Can you go back to number 5 on there and understand how that related to teams?
Sure. So number 5 here?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your business, sir?
Construction management.
Construction management. Do you have any communication channels, project management tools that you're using? Are you using Microsoft Teams?
Yes.
In Microsoft Teams, to organize communication, add a new channel and call it AI Wins and Losses. Then tell everybody on your team that they learned something or need something related to AI to post it in that channel. So the action step is to coordinate the communication with your internal staff around the topic of AI. Make sense?
Right.
So if I ran a construction company, again, if your employees aren't using it, then don't worry about it. But if you've got people in your office, maybe an accounting person, a building person, a general DC contractor, whatever it is, they're probably using AI. Create a place where you can communicate about it. Maybe it's a whiteboard. You know, maybe you just have a whiteboard of ideas for AI. But that's just an electronic one. Yes, over here. We're going to wrap it up here in just a minute. Please fill out the survey. Yes.
So with ChatGPT and creating your custom GPT, you have to, I have the plus version.
Okay.
ChatGPT, can you still create those, or do you have to pay for the pro version?
No. The question is, if you have a paid version, a subscriber version, you can create. It doesn't matter whether you have the enterprise version or the regular plus version, you can do it. Okay? Yes, question?
What about asking questions, reading a spreadsheet?
Like loading a spreadsheet and asking any questions?
Like you've got your spreadsheet and you go, what's the total debits?
Okay, so the question is, the last question, I'll wrap it up. You can upload a spreadsheet into ChatGPT and say, what am I missing? Give me the EBITDA. Look at, compare the company, dedupe this list, write the formula, whatever. If you ask it, it can do it. If you think it can do it, upload the spreadsheet and ask it to do it. It will create the code and the spreadsheet to do that.
Does it have to be Excel or can it be a Google
It
Sheet?
can be a Google Sheet, it can be Excel, it can be any data. I spoke for an organization, 1,500 people, and they pre-bought books, but they couldn't figure out how to get me the customer list. We won't go into the story. Guess what I did? I went to ChatGPT and I said, write me a web database scraper that goes to this public database and scrapes all the members of the database down so I can send them books. In 10 minutes, I had 1,500 names in an Excel spreadsheet. First name, last name, company, address, city, state, zip, business code. I had it all in the spreadsheet. So it can do it, but you've got to practice. Use these tools to practice. Did you get some good ideas here? Thank you.